Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Jessie.
I'm Nina. Today we're reacting to some crazy trans videos that I found.
You told me you were how old?
20, which I really am.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I told you I was 15.
Yeah, how old are you?
Doesn't matter.
No, that does matter.
So when it's not a person, it doesn't exist. No, it's me.
It's him.
It's me.
He's the decoy telling him he's 15 years old.
How do you do this?
Huh?
How do you do this?
To catch online child predators. This is not all right.
That's pedophilia, man.
This is a felony.
That is officer here.
The crime is where the intent is, sir. How you doing, sir? So we're an organization called Worcester County Catchers, and we catch online child predators. And he was 20 years old. He had to meet a 15-year-old boy tonight. We have all the chats.
I was going to say
everything.
I wanted to hang out with
Stop the cap.
Okay, so before we go any further into this video, this is a girl, 20-year-old girl who's pretending to be a guy with her parents, and they are, I think, at a Walgreens going to meet.
That's Walmart for sure.
Walmart going to meet up with a 15-year-old boy.
Weird.
And of course, the predator in the situation says, "I was just going to hang out with them."
Weird.
Except very aggressively.
What 20-year-old wants to hang out with a 15-year-old?
I think we know. But the thing is, she's with her parents.
Right.
And her parents, I bet you, are,
Aware?
I think they're also the predators in the situation.
I mean, how could you not be aware at some point? You know, ask how old this person is, why they can't meet somewhere besides a Walmart. Why can't they just come over? You're 20.
My question is she also a victim?
Does it matter right now?
No. It matters in context.
Does it matter if someone was touched before they touched your kid? Does it matter? Does it make it better?
In the court of law, I'm assuming it matters, but it doesn't make her a good person.
I think that the bigger point here is that this is crazy, and this is a very male behavior being done by a woman pretending to be a man.
Yeah, and then acting like an aggressive woman.
Like it doesn't matter, but it does matter.
Messages you said you wanted to have sex.
You wanted to have sex too.
All right, relax. You're not going to be screaming like that in the store. All right? Everybody's
They don't
relax.
have it on camera.
Okay,
because-
Recording for our safety and yours. In case you try to do anything to us. Or you try to say we did anything to you.
You think she'll go to a male prison?
That'd be funny.
That would be justice.
Anything to
Officer
you.
speak. Like, this is what you guys do?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's fine.
I don't want to be in someone so I'm going to have a heart attack. I have heart problems.
So who are you guys? Your parents. He brought his parents in here. He told me to lie to them. Tell them I was 16 for age of consent. I was telling him I'm 15. And he said he wanted to leave. He said he wants to come to my house, have sex, all this stuff. Weird stuff. You have the messages, Zach. You have the messages go both ways, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have all the information.
Okay, but all you had to do was delete the message and not come here.
What has to happen at this point? Well, we didn't want it to go this far. We wanted to talk to you, but you ran from us.
You had fear on me. Yes, you see when you smile, big you're on camera.
Do you see what he has to say first?
I don't want to hear him.
No, I do want to hear him. I mean, if you don't want me to talk anymore, I'm going to get rid of the messengers.
Hey, I'm still. Have you guys stand over there? I'm
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yep. You can trap right here.
The attitude on this lady to be so...
Aggressive?
that's not the word I'm looking for. Entitled.
Yeah.
Like, that's acting entitled.
Who thinks that this is ever a good... Whoever thought this is a good idea?
Them.
Whoever in their right mind was like, I should meet a young boy or young girl at Walmart because that's the best place to meet anyone. But
Meet up with them.
Yes.
They've already been talking.
Who in their right mind goes to a public place like Walmart to meet someone to begin with, even of consensual age? Who meets up at a Walmart? Let's just start there.
I don't know.
Movies, sure, but there's a million other places.
Coffee.
You chose Walmart, which is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're having your parents bring you, and obviously you're a predator.
Yeah.
It's some kind of power complex. They want to feel powerful. That's why they want to be a man, and that's why they're going after children. Is what I believe to be happening.
She's a tiny woman.
Right.
She ain't hurting anybody.
That's why she wants someone who's young and stupid,
So she can
so
overpower
she
them.
can have power over them.
That's sick.
That's what I believe is going on.
Do you think it's the testosterone making her like that, or do you think she always was like that?
I think that's always how she was, the testosterone just makes her horny.
Ew.
So she's more willing to do things like this to gain the feeling of power and pleasure.
That is sick.
Does that make sense, though?
It makes sense.
That's what I think's going on.
in the most sick and twisted way possible.
I didn't say it was right.
Apparently some guys aren't willing to date trans girls, but I just don't understand why. Can you even give me one good reason why someone wouldn't like trans girls?
It's called the penis.
And did you listen to yourself speak? If I answered the phone, I'd think it was a man.
It's called not passing.
Yeah.
And having a dick and balls.
It's also just like you're not a female. Like, you can be a trans woman all you want to be, but you're not a female.
Yeah, could you, stop pushing people to have sex with you? Because it's really coming off gross and predatory.
I'm never like, man, all the skinny lesbians don't want to I never say that.
No, we don't say, oh, all those straight girls, they don't want to date us. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Why don't you want to date us?
Doesn't make sense.
What's the matter? Give me one reason. It comes off predatory.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the...
the fight?
The plumber guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Something the plumber. And, they're going to have a little scuffle.
Morning.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Queen. What's up?
How'd you
What's
sleep?
up, sir? Who you talking to?
Hey, Queen.
Talking about some Queen.
You gonna be yourself
You know what
today?
I'm saying? What? What you
gonna
mean?
be yourself?
Myself?
Like,
Hey, man,
be
you
yourself.
better watch how you talking to me, man, for real.
What's the
What you mean, the
hostility?
hostility? You a man, right?
A trans.
Aaron, you keep calling me a man.
You had to bring the man out. Now the man's here.
Did you care about that
You a
when you were
man,
trying
right?
to kiss me?
Trying to kiss you? Man, what?
Aaron.
Oh,
Wait. What the fuck you want to do?
keep it in 100,
What the
bro.
fuck you want to do? Come on.
That man voice came out just swinging. Just ready to go.
I'd want that person to be on my side. Not saying I want to, I'm not saying I want to be on their side necessarily, but, if there's a fight, I want them to be on my side of the ring. Did you see those arms swinging? There were just some full frontal punches.
That was, well...
The male identifying as a male did not have a chance in that fight.
But the male identifying as a woman definitely passes for fighting like a woman. That's
but the opening swings are pretty solid. Did you see the first couple ones?
The trans was just throwing, just swinging the arms. I did see him get hit in the face.
Yeah, but they were on top at the end, so sometimes that's how you win the fight.
I think that's what they wanted the whole
Exactly.
time.
I think it's just a game for them.
When I see him walking back and I just see that big ass piss and shit smelling Australian shepherd slingshot net looking bitch, and I'm thinking to myself that was pretty fun. You want to do it again? What, you want to go again?
We can get it cracked. Come on, no, hey, no, don't do it, bro.
Is this trans foreplay?
I think it might be.
I
You
think
talked
so.
to a chick who's kind of into that kind of shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Bro.
Hey, you want to get ready for some sexy time?
Just start throwing fists. That was so unsexy.
Yeah.
We good.
Get him off.
It's chill.
Yeah.
Hey.
Because that's the most physical movement that's happened in a minute. So it's, it's just like sex for that individual. It was so much exerted energy.
There was a lot
in
of
a moment of passion.
sexual aggression going on there. A lot of pent-up sexual aggression.
I think it's really funny when people who are out of shape, severely out of shape, do something out of passion, because it's it lasts for about 2 minutes and they're like,
Was that good for you? Because it was good for me. You go, girl.
Next one. Quick reminder to some cis lesbians out there, but please stop centering your lesbianism around penis disgust.
Nobody wants to see your dick, dude.
I'm not saying that any trauma that you
what do you think the theme of lesbianism is? If not hatred of peni.
Hey, trans women, please stop centering your transness around being a woman.
Yeah.
Do you know how stupid that sounds?
Right?
Really? Men are trying to tell lesbians not to be lesbians? Really? We haven't been here before for decades?
Ready?
Ain't nothing new. You're just pretending to be a woman now. We've done this before. Ain't no one sleeping with you because you're trying to shame us or manipulate us into
And
doing
calling it penis hatred or whatever the you just said is ridiculous.
It's
like
funny.
That's like saying that straight men have penis phobia.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see your dick, dude.
I'm not saying that any trauma that you have around them isn't valid, but I am saying that it shouldn't define your lesbianism.
Listen, your sexuality shouldn't be defined with who you sleep with.
What? My sexuality shouldn't be determined by your feelings. And your decision that I shouldn't hate penises should not affect my lesbianism. You're very selfish. Very selfish.
Yeah, how about we stop telling people who to date, who they're attracted to? How about you stop trying to control people? This is why you got into this trans mess to begin with. Why people are pushing back against trans. Because you got pushy. You got, like, predatory and controlling, like a toxic
insistent
red flag person that nobody wants to date.
You're like a man at a bar who had too many drinks and won't get the away from you.
Yeah. When trans women do this whole pushy thing when it comes to, trying to convince people to sleep with you by shaming their sexual orientation, that's a manly thing to do. Women are used to men doing that, not women. So when a man who says he's a woman is doing it, it's like, well, you're just acting like a dude. You're not proving that you're a woman by acting like this. You're proving you're a man.
I never see fat women online saying, oh, ho, 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 why do gay men have pussy phobia? Why won't one gay man go down on me? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Trans men who are attracted to men, though, they do.
But you don't see one, like regular woman who's, like, overweight or whatever, is not getting a date. You don't see them doing this.
No, because I think even them can get dates.
Yes!
Yeah.
The widespread penis disgust that a lot of cis lesbians have is actually really transmisogynistic because it makes trans feminine lesbians like myself feel really disgusting just for existing as lesbians in the body that we do.
Good, that's your fault, not ours.
Lesbian has existed longer than trans has. Therefore, lesbian's origins and word definition should stay longer than whatever the you're talking about.
Yeah, and saying that we're transphobic or whatever, like, we don't care what you call us. It doesn't matter.
I will continue to say this. You could have been a lesbian 1,000,000 years ago. You cannot have been a trans person 1,000,000 years ago. 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Could you have been a trans person? Would we have had the medical advances for you to have been a trans person? No. However many years ago, could you be a lesbian? Yes. And that's how you know the definition of the word is set.
In stone.
Literally, because the cavemen could have lesbian sex. They might have been. You don't know. But I know they didn't transition.
You mean the cave women?
The cave f***alls.
Oh, okay.
They didn't know what gender was either, but they still knew if they had sex with someone of the opposite of what they had, they'd get pregnant.
Telling people that who they're attracted to is wrong and it's all these horrible things is doing nothing for your cause but making people repulsed by you.
They're going to laugh at you. They're not even repulsed. They think it's hilarious that you think that...
Some people, but if you keep being pushy, it goes into predatory territory.
Yeah, but you're just getting yourself bullied. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, you're getting yourself less dates.
Yes.
Because you're acting like an asshole.
If you're like, yeah, you know what? I do have a penis, but I like women, and I'd like to be seen as a woman. That's just how I feel.
Then find someone who ideologically aligns with you.
But that's not what you're saying, too. You're saying, why won't women have sex with me? You're not saying, hey, yeah, this happens to be me, but I'd still like to find someone out there. You're not, like, optimistic. You're, like, clearly just on other people.
Yeah,
because
that ego is so giant for no good reason that they can't comprehend why no one wants to date them. It's like, have you ever met an asshole? Well, that's you. Nobody wants to date an asshole to begin with. And now you want lesbians when you know damn well they don't want you. So what are you trying to do? It's not a good look.
I had an accurate and relevant conversation with the lady at the DMV about something like this, just generally. Mm-hmm. They insist on you not judging them, right?
Yeah.
However, they cast judgment out to everyone they see.
Why do you think people are starting to really despise them as human beings and avoid them?
Now, this woman at the DMV told me she's a Christian, but because we were talking about the whole gay thing for a second. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm a Christian, but I strongly believe that, like, you won't judge me, so I won't judge you. God judges me. I'm not supposed to judge you. Da-da-da-da-da. And I think that's a very applicable point for all of these people. You don't want to be judged. That's what you're saying. Don't judge me based on my penis. Mm-hmm. However,
I'm going to judge you.
To judge us because we don't want what you have.
It's another problem with the activists in the trans community thing, is that they'll tell you what to do, but they won't follow their own rules. So it's very narcissistic and
Now,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
no, I've said this multiple times on this show, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. I don't agree with all of religion, Christianity necessarily, but I do believe the morals that are taught are good, and that's one of the morals that we're lacking in this world is don't judge other people unless you want yourself being judged. You're opening up the floodgates, like I said, to get bullied. You're opening up every bit of attack for what you're saying because it's not a rational take and it's a judgmental take.
because they're the ones attacking first.
If you want us to stop judging you for being trans, stop judging us for not wanting to be trans, for not wanting to be with someone who's trans, for wanting to be the regular person
Yeah.
we were before you decided that trans was all that mattered.
You know how it's like my body, my choice?
Same.
Well, my body is my choice, and you
Same.
don't get a say in it.
It's the same thing. You just feel like because you're a woman, you have access. You're a woman in your head. Sorry. Let me just clarify. That's not. You feel like because you're mentally a woman that you have access now to women's bodies, but you don't.
No.
Especially lesbians' bodies, because lesbians are the people who first said, I don't really like penis. Not I hate penis, I'm scared of penis. I don't like it. I don't want it. It doesn't mean we're bigoted against people who are trans or people with penises. It's crazy. I know plenty of lesbians who are fine with dudes. They just don't want to fuck them.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
It's easy math.
It also creates a lot of pressure for trans feminine lesbians to get bottom surgery, which is very scary and expensive when we otherwise wouldn't, just to feel valid within the lesbian community and receive support and not feel disgusting.
You mean that lesbians want you to have lesbian parts so you feel like you should maybe get lesbian parts? Or maybe you could just not medicalize yourself and try and have regular sex like you want with lesbians anyways, but maybe with someone who wants to be with a man.
Going after people who you know for a fact don't want to be with you is predatory.
Yes.
It just is.
Yes.
So if you want to continue on presenting yourself as a trans predator, then you're doing a very good job. Keep it up. You're only going to receive a lot of pushback.
Backlash, because it's bullying. You're just trying to pretend it's not. This is still bullying. I'm going to bully you into believing you should have sex with me. But you don't want to be bullied back? Oh no, they're bullying us because we push too fucking far. It's crazy.
Maybe just leave women alone.
Yeah.
So please stop and check your trans misogyny, since there's other stuff too.
I don't know if this is parody or not.
If a trans person...
I don't think it is. I think that's genuine.
Nah. And next one.
If a trans person walks into a bathroom, their body language... What? Okay. Their body language is soft. They are looking kind. They are consciously trying to look kind, gentle.
That's a very dangerous blanket statement you're making about a whole group of people that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you know a few trans people who act like that doesn't mean all of them do.
Just because 3 of your friends who are trans told you that's how they act going into the bathroom doesn't mean that's every trans person going into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or every person who identifies as trans going into a bathroom. Because I agree, if you have friends who are truly trans, they probably do act like that going into the bathroom, but that doesn't count for the guy who's wearing a terrible wig going in behind someone's daughter.
Yep, who doesn't pass, obviously, because all he had to do was identify into being trans.
But says he
is a she,
is a woman, and we have to respect that.
Yeah.
Not obtrusive, not harmful, because they don't want any issues, right? They are not criminals. They are not.
I'm sorry, the video that we just saw prior just proves our point. They do want issues.
Right.
That's why there's so much pushback, because they created issues that were never there to begin with. Back in the day, I don't remember ever having issues with trans women, trans men. They never complained. They assimilated within society and they lived their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because you allowed all the crazies in, there's a giant wave of pushback because the crazies are acting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You ruined it for your entire community, and then you have crazy women like this speaking on their behalf, just making them look even more crazy because what we see and what they're saying don't align.
Not going into the bathroom or the locker room to have any issues. And with respect to women's locker rooms, every gym I haven't been to a high school gym in a long time, but every gym I've belonged to, there is a private shower and changing room. Like, there's no privacy issue unless we're talking about criminals. And criminals is a different category.
Where have you been going to gyms and such, because every gym I've been to does not have a private changing area. They might have a like locker stall with a toilet that you can barely fit in, but I wouldn't call that a private changing area. The lockers, the showers, it's a curtain. That's not a private area. So where have you been? What are you talking about? I've told the story here, I'm sure, but I was showering at the gym and a dude walked in who was cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah.
And, like, there's privacy there, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a man in my space while I was exposed. So what is she talking about?
She's trying to say that you should let trans women into women's spaces because there's no private areas.
No single trans woman has ever been a criminal ever.
No, and they're all kind, nice, and pass, apparently, which is news to me.
Yeah.
Different category than trans people. If a trans woman, right, has to go into a man's room, they're putting them at harm because you are putting a magnifying glass, you're putting a spotlight on them that they are trans.
No, they put a spotlight on themselves. They decided to trans. Their decision has nothing to do with anyone else but them. So they're putting a spotlight on themselves by walking around in public like that because 95% of them don't pass anyway. And if a man is afraid to go into a man's bathroom, then what does that say to women? That says if you're afraid of men, why should I not be afraid of you? Because you're dressed up? That makes no sense.
It makes zero sense.
Because they don't, in most cases, look like a man at all. And that's the difference.
You hear what she just said?
Because they don't pass.
In most cases, they don't look like men at all. Well, I don't know what rock she's been living under, but that couldn't be farther from the truth.
Yeah, it's crazy to say that, because a lot of them do not pass.
They don't. And most of them just identify into it. There's no trying. There's no nothing. So, I mean, this lady's in La La Land.
Agreed.
It's a safety issue. Is it the concern of harassment? I'm just trying to get people to identify, maybe when they say safety, that can be, a safety concern can be broader. So perhaps there's different safety concerns people have. So I'm trying to get people to articulate exactly what those safety concerns are.
Yeah, so, I mean, I
think you mentioned it, the spotlight may make someone feeling uncomfortable, feeling unsafe. I may not agree that that's the same thing, but if there's any specific safety concerns beyond the harassment issue, I think it would be helpful for the committee to hear.
So there are some really mean people in the state. You've heard from a lot of very inclusive, kind people today, but that's not everybody. I've had a first cousin tell me if a trans person ever walks on his property, he's going to take the gun off his belt and he's going to shoot him. Like, there is severe hate.
Okay, anecdotal and hyperboles, that's not going to make your case. Just because you had one incident with one person that you know doesn't mean that that's like everyone else. Just like we said, the people you know pass, majority don't. The one person you know is hateful at trans people. That's not the majority of the people who push back against trans people. But you wouldn't know that because you don't talk to them, because you refuse to have conversations, because you identify them as hateful, bigot, white supremacist Nazis.
They'll never understand this point of the argument.
No. I love that they keep pushing, though, because it's just digging them a deeper hole.
The insistence, too.
It's just too pushy. It's the predatory pushiness. It doesn't come off to normal people like kind and loving and inclusive. It comes off like you're being a jerk and you just want everyone to shut up and believe what you believe. And if they don't, then they need to just get out of the way.
And she gives all these stories with no proof, too. Mm-hmm. All these people pass, but I don't have any numbers. All these people aren't criminals, but I don't have any numbers. I have nothing to guarantee to you that what I'm saying is true and that these women aren't in danger from having men in their bathroom. You just have to trust me on this one. Hear me out when I say the people I know aren't like that. So.
Well, I don't know you, so I'm not going to trust you.
So you should make laws based on the people I know.
Yeah, no.
Not the world, but the people I know.
No.
Here. And you're putting a spotlight on a trans person to force someone who presents completely as a female, who if they went into the women's room, nobody would even notice to go into a men's room.
Another lie.
Right.
Women notice 99% of the time, even if you pass, usually they're giants.
Well,
or usually it's their voice that gives them away. Their jaw, it's everything. Because women have been programmed since the beginning of time to identify males because they are a danger to women, just naturally.
I would warrant saying clearly she's using hyperbole and she's not speaking truthfully, because to say that they all pass,
yeah,
and then to say that women can tell and they wouldn't have been able to tell, but now they can tell. What happened? What happened to these trans people, these trans women? Are they not transitioning anymore? Why can we now tell and we couldn't tell before? That's what I'm saying.
Because you used to not be able to be trans unless you went through a process, and
more relevant.
Self-ID became a thing.
Because you don't have to go through a process. It's more relevant. It's happening all the time. And we need to make laws to prevent it from causing any negative effects. If it wasn't happening and we wouldn't notice, then how are we noticing now?
A lot.
How are we noticing if we wouldn't have noticed? It's a double negative. It doesn't make sense.
To go into a men's room, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's very, very different, respectfully, sir.
So this is in New Zealand, and there was a drag pride parade for children. And these are the Maori, I think they're called. They're indigenous people to New Zealand. And this is their chant that they do. They are pushing back against this crazy shit. So here's Rachel Maddow saying lies about Stonewall.
An agenda known. This was the scene outside the Stonewall Inn today in New York City. Hundreds of people showed up to protest the Trump administration removing all mention of trans people from the Stonewall National Memorial Site, which, after all, commemorates a riot by trans people. It's like telling Cooperstown they're no longer allowed to mention baseball anymore. This was a different agenda known.
Last I heard, there were no trans people there. It was just lesbians and gay guys. So we literally have a homo rewriting homo history to erase her own identity within that history in order to rise up the men pretending to be women. It's absolutely absurd. Like these activists, like she's included, they're literally rewriting factual history. Even the trans women who people said were there said, I was down the street. So where are you getting these facts? Your puckered anus?
I don't know much about Stonewall, but I don't believe them when they're like preaching that the trees threw the first stone.
You know what I noticed about them? All the time. When it comes to the LGBTQ, you know who saved us? Trans women saved us for some, why are you pushing trans women to the forefront? People push back against them. That's why Trump's in office. Okay, let's get that stated. And instead of being like, you know what, maybe we need to self-assess, you're like, no, trans saved you. Trans women saved you. Trans women saved you, and they saved you, and they saved black women, and lesbians, and gay men.
And look under your chair, there's a who's gonna save you too.
And children, it's so insane. As if we buy the bullshit. Come on.
You get a tranny, and you get a tranny, and you get a tranny.
At this point, I'm just watching them marinate in their own delusions. And I don't know if, you think they really believe that people believe them? Like people that don't believe them, do you think they're actually convincing people to believe them?
Do I think they're convincing people?
Yeah.
No.
What do you think it's doing instead?
I think the flock that listens is listening harder is all.
Okay. But what do you think it's doing for the people that don't believe them?
Nothing good. It's just pushing them away further and further.
So how do you think this will end?
I think they're all going to be proven wrong, and then eventually they're going to give up and come back to reality. And we're going to have to lose a lot of elections on the left. Like, the left is going to lose a lot of elections until they get their shit together. That's what I think. What do you think?
I think they'll keep doubling down till they completely eradicate the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and then they'll have to reform it. Then maybe they'll have a shot again.
I think they're too nice to kick anyone out or to reel back on some of these extreme ideologies.
I think at this point, someone's got to realize they got to give. And it's
who? There's so many of them, like
it's
especially
just a matter of time at this
in
point.
media that are really hard, like what the View and like all these people on social media and these news anchors.
I think it's time. Once they realize that it's really not going to work, like it's a matter of like them realizing, holy shit, we lost. Like we really lost.
You think they're still in denial about it?
Yeah, They want to say that Trump's an election denier, but they're like, no, it didn't happen. It's not real. It can't be real. I feel like that's how the left is acting right now.
Like and subscribe.
Comment below.
Ring that bell.
Ring our bells.
Share this video.
Share this video.
And join our memberships.
Join our memberships.
Have a good day.